For more insight into the Clinton campaign, including what's next for the candidate, let's bring in Amy Parnes, co-author of the book HRC, State Secrets, and the Rebirth of Hillary Clinton. She's also a senior correspondent at The Hill doing some great work. Welcome back to the program. Nice to have you. You listened to Hillary Clinton in this explanation. I short-circuited. We were talking past each other. She seems absolutely incapable of saying, I was wrong, I misspoke.
Right. I think a lot of her aides and people around her allies were kind of a little befuddled by that response, and the one she gave earlier in the week and the one before that to Chris Wallace, you know, they wanted her to come out and just say, you know, I misspoke, I apologized, I apologize again. They think that this was not something that, you know, she was not a talking point.
Give us an idea of what's going on in this campaign here. You have Donald Trump, who any reasonable person would agree had a really bad week. In politics, that's when you do absolutely nothing to try and take the spotlight off your opponent. Instead, you have Hillary Clinton coming out and willfully making statements that are getting four Pinocchios and that are distracting the media, per se, in her view, from Donald Trump. Why? What's her campaign's thinking here?
You know, that's confusing to a lot of people. I talked to people around her who are close to her, friends of hers. They didn't quite understand. They couldn't quite wrap their mind around what she was trying to do here. But all in all, they think that they've had a really good week, particularly because of Donald Trump's blunders and, you know, kicking a baby out of a rally and his comments about Ivanka Trump. I mean, they were sort of kicking back and, you know, letting it all play out, I think, this week.
And certainly they got some good poll numbers along the way. Give us a sense, how committed is the campaign to trying and court Republicans? First interview, post-convention, Chris Wallace, Fox News, not something that you would really expect out of the Clinton campaign. We've also seen Meg Whitman come out. We've seen Warren Buffett come out in favor of Hillary Clinton. Is the campaign actively working on this, or is this happening organically?
I think they're actively working to court moderate Republicans. They think that it's definitely within their realm of reach, and they think they're doing that. And I think their data kind of points to that, too. You had an ad yesterday that came out that shows Republicans, you know, supporting her. You had her talk about her convention, in her convention speech. You had her sort of target Republicans specifically, you know, and you had a bunch of general come out, and a lot of you had Mike Bloomberg come out. So I think they're relying on a lot of support from moderate Republicans.
You see these polls right now. Latest preference polls show her up about 10 points in the press release, in the her current horse race, give or take a couple points depending on which poll you look at. Is Brooklyn and her campaign staff worried she may be peaking too soon? Are they worried the Democrats are going to kind of feel like, hey, we got this one in the bag, we don't have to go out and work, we don't have to turn out?
I don't think no one thinks that. You know, if you talk to them, they feel good about where they are now. They're always worried about, you know, a potential surprise that could come down. I think a lot of allies are worried about an October surprise. You know, we had the DNC emails come out, and we saw heads roll after that. So I think a lot of people are kind of worried that there could be something coming down, and a lot of people don't know. You know, you don't know what could happen, if it's a national security issue or, you know, things could turn around at any second.
Whether or not it was planned or not, the Khan speech at the DNC, the father and mother of that captain who died, turned out to be one of the more fortuitous things that could have ever happened to Hillary Clinton, one of the biggest political disasters coming out of a convention for Donald Trump. Is the Clinton team working on ways to try and get under Trump's skin, to try and provoke him into these things, to get him off the message of the economy, get him off message of talking about her emails?
I think their main goal right now is to portray him as this unfit character. And you had President Obama say that this week a couple of times. You have a lot of Republicans coming out and saying that. So they're sort of counting on them to make that. And she's also making that message. You know, she's making that point. I get that she's making the point,
but are they sort of trying to give him, put him in positions where he's going to be forced to get into these kinds of debates, or are they sort of letting them happen organically?
I think they're letting them happen organically. I think they couldn't have had a better week with the bounce coming out of the convention, with all the blunders back to back to back. You know, I talked to a few aides this week who were kind of laughing and saying, you know, this is a great week for us, and, you know, looking at what the other side was doing. And you know, while I don't think that they're resting on their laurels, I think that they are kind of happy about the state of play right now.
But as you also point out, can't quite figure out where their candidate is on the email issue.
Yeah.
Amy, great reporting. Come back and see us.
Thank you.